culture is actually damn good.
We're not urinating on the fire.
You can stop asking that question. I'm going to be calling the defense.
What I talked to Russell about is none of your business.
In this year's owners' meetings, not much has changed in the NFL landscape, but there were a few big decisions made. In an attempt to massage the egos of the refs union, the motion to make roughing the passer reviewable was rejected. It doesn't matter. We all knew it was going to be like reviewing pass interference a few years ago, where only a play or two was overturned and blatant PI wasn't because reasons. You will, however, see more potential ref ball and players with the number 0 on the field. There will also be no gradual cuts down to the final roster in the preseason from 90 players, which should keep starters fresh for a probable wave of injuries in week 2 of the season. Speaking of changes that no one wants, there's a chance that Thursday Night Football will have flex scheduling. It's more than likely going to be up for vote in May, and would give teams at least 15 days notice of a change from Sunday to Thursday. This would be terrible for the game, but remember, the dollar is what drives the NFL. TV rights fees are far more important to the league than the fans, and we all know it. It'll probably be reality barring a miracle. On to the NFC's moves. Chicago Bears had about 9 figures of salary cap space to play with this offseason. A new regime eager to make their mark after a successful Tank Bowl championship. They must rev up the money printers and spend to support a future full of hopefully not being dog shit. Look at the linebackers they signed in Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. Solid pieces paid handsomely. Nate Davis with a big boy deal to solidify the offensive line. And more too. DeMarcus Walker, Travis Homer, Andrew Billings, and Big Bob Tonyan poached from Green Bay. But that's not the main story. The real one is collecting a massive haul from the Panthers to trade the number 1 pick. They're going full bore with Justin Fields, who showed flashes of brilliance last season but needs to hone in his arm for true success. To compensate, here are 2 first-rounders, 2 seconds, and an elite receiver in DJ Moore. The kind of move that can kickstart a contending window if they're wise with the selections. But that's for the future to decide. A promising one deserves the full support of their franchise quarterback. Nathan Peterman, welcome back to the fray.
The Chicago Bears select Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, Tennessee.
The Bears need linemen. Protecting Justin Fields in the pocket is paramount. And Darnell Wright immediately fills a need at either side of the line. Depends where they feel Tevin Jenkins fits better. It's another pick in a lineup trying to overhaul a stagnant franchise. And it seems to be working, at least on paper. I will never complain about trying to build from the trenches. Protect the stars as best you can. It's not a sexy pick, but it's necessary. Bears fans sure have talked a lot of shit this offseason. You've accomplished absolutely nothing, yet apparently the end is here because you may have a QB for the first time since the Depression. Justin Fields has a lot of questions that need to be answered, especially in his accuracy, but he is an electrifying athlete, I'll give you that. He'll have plenty of weapons to play with as well, including newly acquired DJ Moore and a freshly extended Cole Kmet. And you'll love Chase Claypool until he frustrates the hell out of you in games. There is reason to be intrigued about the future, but pump the goddamn brakes! Let time dictate if Justin and the Bears are good or not. Besides, Fields isn't the thing that'll make or break your season. It's the O-line and front 7. Those positions are in a state of transition with free agents and picks. And they struggled big time last year. Yes, Justin's definitely going to be running for his life again. Remember, Bears, baby steps. Focus on those instead of one giant leap. This is the weakest NFC as a whole I've seen in a long time. We've gone from Rodgers, Breeze, Brady, and more to Jalen Hurts and maybe some other things. This is going to lead to some wonky results, I know it. First off, I believe there's a repeat winner in the NFC East. Philly takes it thanks to their offense. Sorry, Dallas. The NFC North, I'm going to kill myself in the future for it, but I'm picking Detroit. I think the Lions do it this year. Think that's crazy? I have Atlanta winning the NFC South. The only other serious contender here is New Orleans, and I don't trust them to stay healthy. NFC West, all things considered, is Seattle's to lose. This could change if Bosa plays and Purdy stays healthy, so I have them in a wildcard spot. The other 2 slots go to Dallas and Minnesota. As I said though, the final spots are anyone's guess. And that's the majesty of the game itself. Enough talk. Let's get to the football. Bears fans are a special breed of stupid. I'd be too if I kept getting fed snake oil by the same damn shysters. You talk all this shit about how well you're going to do. You're gonna stake a claim in the division. You're going to finally upend your Lord Green Bay. We're going to eat our doubts as the new regime washes away the stains of old. You know, at least Saxonville accomplished something before their fans boasted to the heavens. What was it all for? A bunch of screen passes in both trenches being mauled? To get lorded over by Big Brother 3 hours to the north yet again? Aaron may be gone, but you sure as shit made Jordan Love look like him. I don't care what happens from this point forward, Bears fans are locale of the week. With all the bullshit that we're spreading for this to be the result? Good going, you fucks. You just made Packers fans infinitely more insufferable. I hope you're happy. Is this really what Chicago was hyping up? Is this a joke? This is literally the same damn shit they've been giving us for years. Fans and media promised us a quality offense with a potential MVP candidate. Reality is Justin Fields holding onto the ball for 6 seconds of play and screen passes ad nauseum. Tampa Bay was the real revelation here. To be fair, that's easy to do against the Bears. They routed their opponent on all fronts. Mike Evans became God again. And he's proved that he still has it. Their defense relentless in the pass rush. It's hope after being left for dead. That hope is something that's been quashed in Chicago. Any momentum has gone south faster than snowbirds to Florida for winter. Their ire has new names. Luke Getsy, Matt Eberflus, and Justin Fields. Yeah, I don't think Fields is it, Chicago. Another quarterback prospect successfully ruined. 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks before the relentless optimism in Bears land fell into a fucking chasm. I know everyone outside of their fandom thought they were out of their minds, but for it all to fall apart like this? This is a nightmare. Green Bay literally killed this team. That's all I have. Justin Fields has been a complete mess mechanically, robotically holding on to the ball for way too long and eating sacks in the pocket. Things tend to get a bit sensationalist in these situations. And if he throws coaching under the bus for flooding him with too much information, they'll call it chaos hour. It's legitimately an everything problem. His O-line's a hot mess. Braxton Jones might be out for the season. Nate Davis is dealing with family issues, and they're out here running PR stunts to pretend that everything is fine. As long as you don't look at Alan Williams. The defensive coordinator is no more. He ran for his damn life as the FBI raids his house for undisclosed reasons. And considering that the Bears haven't denied that, it's probably pretty morbid as to why. So how does this get worse? Having $100,000 worth of equipment stolen from Soldier Field will do it. This tire fire is smoldering. A friendly reminder that it's not even week 3. Good lord. Everything's gone to complete shit, but perhaps things will be better as you're playing the Chiefs. There isn't a fool's chance in hell that I'm gonna believe you'll make this competitive. Don't waste my time, just go. Get out. Step off to the side and let the real teams take center stage. Fox will just show Taylor Swift in the press box for half before switching away to a different game. There's no point in saying how shit you are because that would involve effort. You boys aren't worth it. Nuke the team like Bears fans want and ruin a new generation of prospects. Justin Fields isn't good, but I feel for that guy. He never had a chance in this shithole. A tank bowl in week 4. What the hell has this world come to? Well, when you get a team with a tremendous 180 in defense against the football equivalent of the Great Fire of Chicago, you get a must-watch shit show for all ages. It's here where we ask a question. How the fuck does Vance Joseph keep getting work? He's accomplished absolutely nothing as a coordinator, and his horrible schematics have turned an elite defense into a sieve. Denver isn't just making Justin Fields look good, they're bringing him back to Ohio State. It's so nice of Vance to pay it forward. He realizes Fields is on the verge of bust him and is showcasing his talents for a future trade. Denver fixed Russell Wilson. The cost was everything else. And now it's a 28-7 game in the third quarter. Well done, Sean. What were you saying about Hackett being a hack? I'm experiencing deja vu. It should be a positive moment for Bears fans. Unfortunately for them, Chicago enjoys nothing more than chemically castrating them every week. It's not even one element that falls, it's everything that collapses in on itself. All in attendance forgot that the Bears defense is excrement. And that might be a generous assessment of whatever's assembled out there. And unfortunately, everyone forgot that Justin Fields makes brutal decisions with the football. A botched fumble from him recovered for a Denver touchdown. Game tie. But Chicago does have control of the game in their hands. They're pushing the ball down Denver's throat and are in field goal range. Yet ask me this. It's a 4th and 1 at Denver's 20 and you're going for it?
They go for it. And I don't think he got there.
go out a fucking shotgun in short yardage and telegraph the most obvious play in the world. Why is it so hard to take the damn points? Of course Denver's gonna capitalize on it. Guess what the Broncos do, Eberflus? They take the points! What a shocking concept as they steal the lead. Now panic time is in the air. Of course, we all remember their quarterback is Justin Fields.
Santos' career long is 55 yards. Pressure coming. Fields over the middle. Intercepted! Picked up by Jackson, and he goes to the ground!
You seriously wasted what could be the best performance of Fields' career against a Vance Joseph defense. You seriously pissed away a 21-point lead due to what can only be described as sheer arrogance. Matt Eberflus, may I give you some advice? Don't even try to pack your shit. Leave Chicago as soon as you can. The city has declared open season on you starting at midnight. The fans are assembling lynch mobs for you and Luke Getsy. This was special, and Bears fans want more than blood. They want your soul. When it shits on your face, it spews in every direction. Not only are the Bears in hell, but one of their big moves has blown up on them. You were more than warned about Claypool, Chicago. The lazy route running, the piss-poor effort in blocking and contested balls, the unwarranted arrogance. This is the exact same shit he pulled in Pittsburgh. Got so bad he was forced to apologize in front of the team after week 1. It didn't get much better. There's one thing about Chase, he loves to talk shit he can't back up. The Bears aren't utilizing his talents, allegedly. Which is ironic since Chase himself doesn't know how to properly utilize Chase's talents. This was the last straw for the Bears. It was a healthy scratch in their last joke and has been told to stay away from the team. They're looking for some table crumbs for him in a trade, but I doubt they even get that. A friendly reminder that they traded the 32nd overall pick for this shit. An NFL career in jeopardy. Never heard of her. I'll leave it to Washington to play with incredible fire against one of the best teams in football, only to reveal it was a massive cock tease. I always thought commies were valiant defenders of their homeland. If they had Washington's defense at Stalingrad, the city would have fallen in 3 hours. The fuck is this been, Chicago? Who knew DJ Moore was good when you actually chucked the ball to him? Their O-line is mauling people? Justin Fields has time in the pocket? I thought Washington had big names on defense. Or was that fake like their secondary? Know how sad the Reskins were? They handed Chicago their first win in almost a year on a silver platter. Riverboat Ron's checked down to his resting quarters and is letting the team flounder. Like a true sea captain nearing the end. So what got into Chicago to not be shit? Probably a legendary bear infusing his spirit in the team from beyond. That actually makes a lot of sense. They did it for Dick. I'll gladly accept this as a valid reason. Ring the gong for a legend moving on from this mortal coil. Rest in peace, Dick. Minnesota still weren't pretending that everything is fine. I'd be calling this one a tank bowl. Team that keeps finding ways to lose games against a team that somehow has the same outcomes for a decade. This is what we call some peak NFC North football, where the points are sparse and the misery is ever present. The Vikings are without Justin Jefferson long-term, and the Bears are without pretty much anything you can shake a stick at. Minnesota enjoys nothing more than amputating their own healthy limbs, so Chicago's still in the game despite their constant struggles. Don't let the close game fool you. Any hope their fans have is slowly dying in a bottle of Malort. And that bottle will soon become 4 of them. Justin Fields is injured, and it involves his throwing hand. You know what that means. It's Tyson Bagent season, boys.
Pressure coming here, and the ball is out. It's still free, and the Vikings pick it up. Down the sideline goes Jordan Hicks, and Hicks is in for the scoop and score.
It lasted all of 5 minutes. The Vikings will continually run into a brick wall because the law forces them to end all games within 1 possession. Don't have too many heart attacks. The Bears underthrow their shot to win like Bagent's final pass. You think you've won, Minnesota? You may have lost the war. Kirk Cousins isn't going to waive his no-trade clause. You're stuck with an anti-tanking brigade. Have fun with that. Are you ready for one of the 6 greatest football matchups in the 1 p.m. time slot? You definitely aren't. Years of technological and scientific advancements have led us to peak football. Tyson Bagent versus Brian Hoyer. Feel the glorious majesty of the son of an arm wrestling champion against the clone of the Patriots machine. It's most unfortunate for the Raiders that the Belichick cloning machine has been broken for decades, and they don't care to fix it. Welcome to the Josh McDaniels experience, where the plan is nothing and the execution is a bullet to the head. Chicago, under a complete greenhorn, looked like a competent, efficient unit on both sides of the ball. The oft-maligned Bears defense turned Brian Hoyer into, well, Brian Hoyer. Is it a good thing for a team if they're 2 for 9 on third down? Could be if you're the Bears. You know what is good, though? Deontay Foreman. I hate the fact that this man gets no respect. He's gone into shitty situations across the league and just rumbles against his opponents. Under him and Bagent, the Bears did the most important thing. Not fuck up. And that's good enough against the Raiders. Hoyer, meanwhile, was eventually pulled for Aiden O'Connell. Why didn't they just start him to begin with? And they apparently don't want to trade a pissed-off Devontae Adams? That's Josh McPonzi's scheme for you. In this critical moment, Washington thought like Belichick on a 4th and 3 at the opposing 40. They punted. Their high-profile edge rushers in Montez Sweat and Chase Young have been sent packing for a pair of day 2 picks. Montez gets to travel to the Windy City, where he'll be expected to be an immediate impact player on a team with no pass rush. The Bears are trading an early second-rounder for him, which will make sense if they extend him long-term. Also, if they didn't try to trade Jalen Johnson, but at least he's still here. For now. If Brandon Staley loses this game, it has to be Quaker instant firing for him, right? Against this Bears team, it's domination or bust. The fortunate thing is that Chicago chose to unleash their disorganized, poorly coached unit out onto the field today. Witness such amazing feats of offense like barely being able to move the ball and making Tyson Bagent look like an undrafted Division II rookie. Their defense fared little better. Liquid LA was out here running checkdowns for most of their plays, and they ran untouched for gobs of yards nearly every time. Herbert was dicing them non-stop. They scored on their first 5 possessions, pretty much killing the Bears where they stood. All this does is make me want to laugh at the Raiders even harder. You lost to this? You made this look competent? What the actual hell is wrong with you? This team was outmaneuvered at every turn by Mike McCoy 2.0. Now they survive and gain momentum in a must-win game. See, Las Vegas, this is how you take care of business. Even as the Saints should be applauded on one side of the ball, I still find myself livid at them for reasons that have been stated repeatedly. Tyson Bagent was once again at the helm for the Bears. Despite some early magic, too many elements undo them in the art of winning. Their defense is all but a turnstile that lacks cohesion and talent, even with managing to extend Montez Sweat long-term. Their offense, while showing flashes, is unable to truly turn the tide. Whenever they have a chance to take advantage, flashbacks to the horrible doink. A game of keep away, mostly from the Bears' offense becoming pastry chefs competing with Café du Monde. No need to win, just force a few passes when it's obvious to the naked eye they're blanketed. Just a sheer kick in the balls. But that's to be expected of Chicago. New Orleans underwhelmed on offense yet again. You're telling me you had the advantage of 5 defensive takeaways and the penalty advantage of 8-1 and you could only win by 1 score? What the actual fuck is wrong with you? This is supposed to be the team I need to take seriously? Great, they're leading the NFC South again. It's not a division, it's a farce. Prove me wrong, Saints. You've let me down repeatedly before. Couldn't we just simulate the shit pile on Madden instead? I'm a depraved enough soul to enjoy Super Tank Bowl, but the common fan would find this to be torture. The Bears scraped by because they have some semblance of a pulse on offense. And Carolina is somehow even shittier than I thought them to be. Their only big production on the night was on a punt return. Jesus Christ himself would cast the Panthers off for being a blight. This scheming by Frank Reich is absolutely terrible. Bryce may be getting flack, but no QB could do well on it. This is anti-offense. A black hole void of anything resembling life. Chicago didn't even do anything special, just allow DJ Moore and Deontay Foreman to get revenge by existing. Carolina's defense is destroyed by injury. It's gotten so bad that Blake Martinez was revived from scamming people on Pokemon cards. Chicago wins and they win even more. They have Carolina's first-round pick. Scott Fitterer made that trade but rejected 2 firsts for Brian Burns a year ago? Makes about as much sense as Eddie Pinheiro kicking a 59-yarder when his career long was 56. Chicago's last shred of hope is returning for one last gasp at relevance. Justin Fields is back from his thumb injury. While the season is all but lost, the Bears can figure out what to do for next year in games like this. Or will Detroit simply become the Edsel and disappoint us all? The Lions realize that the auto strike is ended, right? There's no need for the team to hypothetically go on strike against Chicago. Jared Goff has somehow morphed back into 2019 form, and I have no idea how the fuck it happened. It takes a special kind of bad to make the Bears look competent, and the Lions are turning it into a reality. They're doing the classic play down to competition trope at Ford Field with a 4-turnover day. It's a rare sight for Detroit these days, but there's always a time for a throwback. And the unbelievable is happening. Ooh, the Bears are up by 12 with 4 minutes left. An upset is within their grasp. They're a bad team, but there's no way they choke this away, right? They choke. Of course. Bears fans talked all that shit in the preseason about this team. Detroit didn't even show up until the final 3 minutes and still managed to bullshit out a win. Lions fans, it was ugly, but you can wake up. Incompetence can be escaped. And the reward is being 8-2 for the first time since JFK was president. I wouldn't recommend making this a trend. Against most other teams, Detroit loses by 20. Learn how to tackle someone in the open field, and maybe then I'll stop wondering if I have doubts about you or not. I keep tempting fate, and it delivers a haymaker across my face. I shouldn't expect anything less from the Chicago Bears. Fanbase was talking a lot of shit before the year. There were high hopes to start, but they immediately were forced to eat endless amounts of shit. Chaos everywhere you look. The coaching staff drunk on Malort steering the ship aimlessly, endless humiliations, and an assistant coach cast off from the team due to allegations of heinous behavior. Make that 2 assistants. Matt Eberflus can boast about the culture, but the only boasting he'll be doing is on the unemployment line come January. If they keep choking like they did against the Lions, there may be more on the chopping block besides him. On the other side of the coin, it's the hope for the Minnesota Vikings that they'll be playing meaningful football in a month or so. They've been through a ton of adversity this season. A woeful 1-4 start countered by a strong 5-game winning streak, only to suffer severe injuries to stars throughout the roster. That includes Kirk Cousins, his Achilles torn like the team's spirit. Josh Dobbs has been the legend of memes in Minnesota alike, but his magic may be wearing off, especially after a loss to Denver where the offense couldn't activate to full potential. Despite the setback, they're still in good position to get a wildcard spot, and their destiny is in their own hands. Monday Night Football is the scene. Another week without Justin Jefferson in the friendly confines of US Bank Stadium. Horns will blow and skulls will be chanted as the opening kickoff is delivered to the Chicago Bears. Little did the fans in attendance know that they'd experience a violation of their 8th Amendment rights. Justin Fields scrambling for his life, hoping someone's open down the field. It works a couple of times, but then Fields gets eaten alive in the pocket and the field goal unit trots out. Cairo Santos shanks the kick wide. The tone has been set for failure, and it'll be eaten alive by the Bears' defensive front in a 3-and-out. Do we get anything special on this next drive? Nah, just Fields being sacked deep in his own territory. 4th and 10 coming up for the Bears. Punting. Fuck it, just throw it up there. And it's gonna be caught? How the fuck did that happen? It'd be awful nice if they did anything with it, which they don't. We finally get points on the board, and the Vikings have only had the ball for 3 plays until this point. That might be for the best if we're being honest. The Bears can't have anything nice in this world, so they're gonna be penalized for a player taking his helmet off on the field. His face mask had been ripped off on the sidelines. He was just trying to point it out. The drive prematurely stalled. It's time for Fields to work his magic by airmailing a wide-open receiver. Josh Dobbs will not be deterred by his opponent, however. The Bears will commit blatant penalties to get them to midfield. The meme magic runs strong within him, rocketing a pass that ricochets right into the hands of a Chicago defender. This is supposed to be a primetime match. By the way, did you like no offense whatsoever? Do you like impotent screen passes? Do you like almost pick sixes? Do you like punting? Great news, this is the matchup that you've been dying to see. I know you'll be shocked to find this out, but Minnesota is moving the ball down the field. Yes, actual offense by the Vikings in this game. Aided by a pass interference penalty by the Bears, to be fair, but Minnesota knows the only counter is an intentional grounding demerit. Drive dead. I don't know how the hell it's tied at half, to be honest. Chicago is a real offense, they lead by at least 14. Dead serious when I say that. And with Minnesota getting ball at half, they have a chance to finally get their shit together. This apparently means going for it on a 4th and 7 at midfield? Did everyone drink stupid juice today or something? They're daring the Bears offense to do literally anything with these golden chances. The sheer disrespect is hilarious to see. With all these screens and ineffective passes, they were proven correct. They do retake the lead, however, and I want to die. Thousands of years of human evolution, yet these teams are making the wheel into a square. This is absolutely unwatchable. If it weren't for Sportsball, I'd have turned this game off an hour ago. Tom Brady said there was too much mediocrity, he was too damn nice. Awful offense is turning this into a complete slog. How was Patriots-Giants more of an offensive showcase than this?
Analytics likes this call up to 6 yards. 4th down and 3. And this one up in the air and picked off by Edwards.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're nearing the end of the third quarter and only 9 points are on the board. Can Chicago do anything with the ball in field goal range? Fuck no, it's predictable as hell. Cairo Santos 9, Greg Joseph 3. Holy crap, the Vikings actually converted a 3rd down for once. It's the 4th quarter. I'm just waiting for Josh Dobbs to make another turnover. I know you want to do it, man. Just let your passions flow.
Yannick Ngakoue just limped off the field for the Bears. This one is intercepted by Chicago.
There were Steelers fans upset that Dobbs was let go from the team a few weeks ago. They need to apologize right now. I like him, but dude's a backup. Great in a pinch, but not a starting option. This game shows it. Bears, please do something besides fall apart in field goal range. I beg of you, Justin. Prove yourself as a starting quarterback.
Fields pulls out. Sheldon Day is there. Metellus knocked it out.
I cut my drinking significantly for weight loss this year. I am seriously regretting that decision right now. So how's Dobbs gonna launch a rocket off course this time?
Saw him limp away last time the Vikings had it. This one aired out. It's Addison all alone, but out of bounds.
Somewhere in the afterlife, Paul Brown is crying into a canister of film. This is sub-XFL tier. If you were to take a shot every time a terribly schemed screen or run up the gut was called, you'd have been dead in the 2nd quarter. Oh, the Vikings are moving the ball? Wake me when they actually score.
They're going to put a drive together and put themselves back in the game.
Gordon went back to the sideline. Brisker's over there too. End zone. Hawkinson. Touchdown.
I never thought it to be possible. A touchdown? In this economy? I thought that was ruled illegal in a past decree. The Vikings have the lead. And now the Bears can respond in kind to make this a game.
Fields steps through. Will try to get it with his legs. Ball's out. Another Fields turnover.
So where's Fields going to end up next year? Developmental role in the Seahawks? That'd be an interesting fit. I'd like to see that. I'd also like to see the Vikings not shit the bed on this drive, but guess what happens? They shit it. Punting time in the game that never fucking ends. It'd be vintage Vikings to suddenly get passive on defense and allow Chicago to get into field goal range. And that's what they're doing. Because why blitz when you can rush 3 and give Fields all the time in the world to decide? 2 minutes left and no timeouts for Chicago. They have to get at least 10 more yards by any means necessary. 1st down. Nobody open for Fields, gotta throw it away and fight another day. 2nd down, same situation. Nobody open to make a strike down the field, gotta throw it away. 3rd down.
Fields lets it go. DJ Moore has it down inside the 15.
Remember this lesson, kids. Prevent defense prevents winning. How the hell do you let DJ Moore of all people get wide open in the middle of the field like that? Covering their best receiver in man coverage, why the hell would you do that? Chicago's so stunned they even got this far, they're just kneeling the ball to burn clock. The only thing stunning to me is that this game's about to end.
Play clock at 4, good snap, good hold, good kick. Bears are back on top with 10 seconds to go.
Fucking hilarious. Minnesota self-destructs in a game they needed to win by failing to match shapes. A challenging season getting even more challenging as they sputtered a 500 headed into their bye week. Justin Jefferson should be back by then, but the questions at quarterback linger. The Pasternak's performance was so dire that he could end up getting decommissioned. You lost to the red-headed stepchild of the division. It was Matt Eberflus's first win against a divisional opponent. Mostly despite themselves, but they still got the dub. Bears fans everywhere still want Eberflus and Getsy fired. I don't think it changes their trajectory at all, but you know something? Even for the win, it didn't fuck up their tank whatsoever with either pick. The true victory to cherish. And a fitting end to this shit show. I only wish to drink to numb the pain. Small comfort to witnessing one of the games of our time.
The Benny Hill music playing in the background. This game is over, thankfully.
You said it, Joe. You fucking said it. We've only got 5 weeks left in the season from hell itself. That means the playoffs are about to be seen as we crest over the hill. And then the race to the finish will truly begin. The NFC is much more slanted towards the top. Philly still remains the #1 seed despite their loss, but San Francisco and Detroit are gaining on them fast. As the Clown in the Army Battalion, Atlanta is 4th in Tank Division. Dallas should be in a top 4 spot, but they're stuck in a division with the Eagles. The other 2 wildcard spots are a 4-team race. The Vikings and Packers claim positions for now, but the Rams and Seahawks are right on their tail. Right behind them, the Buccaneers and Saints are knocking on the door of Tank Division. And the Bears and Giants are currently in a combination of long-term planning and extremely slim chances to make noise. This is the playoff situation, and the madness is only going to amplify. There's only one rule, and sadly the Panthers didn't follow it.
Don't get eliminated!
I have to ask Detroit, are you okay? Is there something you need to get off your chest? Do we need to hug it out? With how strong they looked in early November, you'd believe that they have the chance to make serious noise. Yet recently, the Lions haven't only revealed their weaknesses, they're flashing them like a pervert on the street. Their defense is trash, only existing to give confidence to their opponents. No need to contain Justin Fields or DJ Moore, just let them go ham. And Jared Goff? Back to garbage 2021 form for him. But these are the Bears. Detroit's up by 3 at halftime with possession in the second half. This should be easy for them to win. How do I explain this? Now, in this time frame, these felines didn't just falter at the gate, they flat out self-destructed. No discipline, no structure, no ability besides sloppiness and poor execution. They're priming themselves for a vintage January wildcard loss, and their division isn't even guaranteed anymore. What is guaranteed is Chicago's ease. After weeks of ineptitude, they're finally showing progress. And Carolina's endless suckage will grant them Caleb Williams if they want it. Justin Fields is extremely inconsistent, but this is a QB-hungry league. The Bears can get a decent return for him in the offseason. It'll hurt, but it's for the best. Well, this is gonna take a bit to sort out. Scriptwriters are generating so much hope that it could power a small town for years on end. A mediocrity carousel that'll make your head spin. The age of upsets brings us endless mosh pits. The NFC is even worse off. But we have a new #1 seed in San Francisco because Dallas has usurped the Eagles in the division lead for now. They're in second place. Detroit, despite their struggles as of late, have 3rd seed, which won't be in danger. That's because Tampa Bay is somehow leading Tank Division. The abomination we hoped would die. They'll have the right to host Philly in a wildcard game if things stand. With second wildcard, I don't know how, but the Vikings are in sole possession of it. 1,000,000 explosions and somehow alive. Same as Green Bay in the wildcard spot that should not exist. A 5-way tie exists for the right to get slaughtered. The Rams, Seahawks, Falcons, and Saints are also in the mix for better or worse. And in the background, the Giants and Bears are kicking back laughing at how the hell they're only a game back of a dance ticket. Welcome to the mess, kids. We've got 4 games left. Only 1 spot's been clinched and 2 teams are out. Buckle up. Keep your hands inside at all times. And one more thing.
Don't get eliminated!
Who's ready for a defensive war of attrition? This is going to be trench warfare at its finest. And Cleveland has an opportunity to truly separate from the pack. Only their team wasn't ravaged by injury. Now down 3 tackles and featuring a defense of mostly backups, Joe Flacco will have to carry the load. As it has always been written in the NFL Book of Chaos. The issue is that he isn't. Joe Flacco is, well, Joe Flacco. Chicago's defense has really stiffened up over these past few weeks. And against third-string offensive linemen in some aspects, they're just teeing up on the old vet. Add to it that Justin Fields has that one play where he pulls the bullshit to social media's delight, and you have the potential for an upending. Now, only if Matt Eberflus wasn't a fucking moron and tried for a field goal before half instead of a Hail Mary. That'd be nice. The Browns are doing everything they can to stifle the Bears' offense, but if they can't solve this defense, it's over. Chicago, thanks to channeling their 85 form, have a 10-point lead in the second half. But opportunities present themselves. Muffed punts by the Bears giving prime field position only for Flacco to fail to find his precious tight end for another interception. The Browns are a feisty, relentless bunch even in their decrepit state. They'll make crucial stops to stifle Fields and the Bears' attack. They'll chip away at the rock and stone separating them from a lead. And they'll do it by finally breaking Chicago's sturdy defense. Joe Flacco's still got a bit of that old magic left in him. spiral right into the hands of Amari Cooper as he races down the sidelines, gets them tied back up again. Cleveland's defense once again holds firm, and Flacco embraces his elite form. Never doubt his love of a nice tight end. David Njoku has been eating these past few weeks, and on this drive, it might be his magnum opus as a professional. Right into the kicking distance of Dustin Hopkins to take the lead for the first time today. The Bears need to act quickly. They get close to the promised land, but it's not enough. It's too late to get to field goal range. Chicago's going to need prayers answered.
Chased by Garrett, flushed, looking, sets up, throwing deep. Hail Mary, end zone, deflected, tipped and intercepted.
Oh, Darnell Mooney. You had the win right in your grasp, yet the only thing you'll be holding is the bottom of the Cuyahoga. This could have been one of the greatest catches of all time. It would have been called the Hail Mooney. But we will only call for standard Bears misery. It's Cleveland-style brutality. And this loss might be the difference between bullshitting to a playoff spot and significant changes in the offseason. The Browns somehow escaped their own demise, all but secure a playoff spot and are 5-0 in games decided by 3 or less. Dear God, they really have become the Steelers. It's disturbing. Another tick of the clock has passed. And while several teams have secured tickets to the dance, there is so much more at stake in this final stretch. The NFC is San Francisco's to lose. They stand alone for the number 1 seed right now, with Dallas, Detroit, and Philly having outside chances at it. In spite of a 3-game skid, Philly still controls their own destiny. If they and Dallas both win out, they will control the NFC East due to strength of schedule. The Cowboys are just hoping their rival keeps failing. The big scenario is tank division. Tampa Bay has the potential to run away with a spot due to a 3-game win streak. New Orleans is hot on their tail, but currently lose tiebreaker. Atlanta just keeps choking, so they're on the outside. Like in the AFC, there's a 4-way tie for 2 wildcard spots. Minnesota's in troubled waters, but still has the 6th seed. The LA Rams, after a Packers loss, now control the final spot. The Seahawks and Saints are also in the mix and are eager to steal a spot for their own. Behind them, Green Bay and Atlanta need a good bit of help now after their last 2 defeats. I wish you all good tidings and safe travels in this final week of 2023. Christmas season is hectic, but these holidays get more special with age. Enjoy your time with friends and family, cherish what you have in life, and do me one favor, please.
Don't get eliminated!
At this point, we know what the Cardinals are. A team that's just counting down the hours until they're free for winter break. Not like me when I was in school, to be honest. They sit for the last few days watching movies and dreaming about playing Xbox. It's fine, just let Justin Fields get some highlight tape for the offseason. Maybe delude the Bears into thinking he's still their savior or something. Kyler, he's kinda there, I guess. Both teams are merely auditioning players for next year, and Arizona's got a long way to go. Attempting to come back in the end, but too late to return from the abyss. This is the paper soft schedule that still has Chicago somehow on life support for playoffs. It's a win, but it doesn't really ruin their tank. Carolina's pick is still intact despite Joe Barry's attempts at sabotage. The greatest prize indeed. 2 more weeks to go, yet we have solved next to nothing. A few more pieces have moved into position, but very little set in stone. 2 teams clinched, 2 more eliminated, yet there are still 10 more teams that need to be cut off from the pack. The NFC number 1 seed has a new wrinkle with San Francisco's loss. Philadelphia has a renewed chance to stake a claim for that title in spite of themselves. Detroit has it in their sights as well, but the Niners still control their own destiny in that regard. The NFC East is a simple proposition. An Eagles win or Cowboys loss in the next 2 weeks means Philly secures a home playoff game. And they play the Cardinals and Giants. Barring a hilarious collapse, it's theirs. Tank division at Tampa Bay further secure a home matchup against most likely Dallas. Atlanta and New Orleans are a game back, but their best shot of doing anything is in the wildcard barring an implosion. The wildcard spots, excluding Dallas, are now solely controlled by the Rams and Seahawks, with LA controlling tiebreaker. 1 game back are Minnesota, Atlanta, Green Bay, and New Orleans in mixed states of being. And then the Bears. Somehow not dead yet. We have 2 weeks left, and the purge will shortly commence. Make your preparations now, for there will only be one phrase chanted throughout the land.
Don't get eliminated!
standard operating procedure for the Falcons. Have one of their best performances of the year, then followed up by questioning if they even prepared in practice. A dome team moving into the elements and being fucking terrible in the cold. A tale as old as time. It's not what Atlanta did, it's mainly that they didn't do anything. They played like unbelievable ass. Like most games this year, their quarterback play was abhorrent. No matter if Heineke or Ritter chucked garbage out there. The defense emulating that awful play but refusing to stop Chicago's offense at any point in time. The worst part is that the Falcons still have a chance to win Tank Division. A damning statement. The Bears are merely playing for pride, to prepare for a fascinating offseason where they can shape the team in any fashion. They've had a strong run, but mostly against really shitty teams or self-destructing franchises, so you can't really gauge much except appreciating wins. It might not be for the best. Much to Chicago's chagrin, Matt Eberflus is likely keeping his job. And much to football chagrin, Arthur Smith is likely keeping his. Why is Arthur secure with gross incompetence like this? Not much else to say about the Bears. Their early season was so shit it was near impossible to recover from. I'm honestly more surprised they lasted this long. Philly's failure is catastrophic. Remember when the Cowboys benefited from heinous ref ball the night before? They now control the NFC East. The cancer of Eagles fans has been replaced by the cancer of Dallas. We welcome our new insufferable overlords. Their rule be just as toxic as the last reign. Philly does win a Nobel Consolation Prize in Locale of the Week at minimum. It's very fitting. This award implodes on command like they do. But the real benefit is to a fourth team. With the Cardinals win and Panthers loss, we can officially declare the 2023 Tank Bowl champion. Back-to-back winners, the Chicago Bears! They didn't even have to lose a single game to do it. May the Panthers shit show burn bright for years to come.
I'm calling both games.
Chicago, this is Judgment Day. Weeks of playing middling and self-destructing opponents have given them some confidence going into this match. A chance to upend the rival that has consistently owned them for years. This was their Super Bowl, and they failed miserably. A total cock tease that will get them mocked and bullied by their NFC North brethren for years to come. I'll say, for how unbelievably terrible Joe Barry has been this year, he did a marvelous job containing the Bears' offense. Although against that poverty franchise, anything green and yellow reverts back to the golden days. Chicago was hoping for Justin Fields to emerge as a franchise quarterback, but that hasn't happened to him. It was blessed to Jordan Love, the ultimate nightmare. The torch wasn't doused, it was merely handed off to the next in line. And Green Bay continually lords over their inferior adversary. Turns out the only thing they do up here is watch football because they're pretty good at it. Even in a supposedly rebuilding year, the Packers will still have success. As weird as it sounds, this is about what I expected from the Bears this season. 7 to 8 wins with some progress made and work to be done for next year. It just happened in a rather unorthodox way. The beginning after the preseason hype train, good lord, it was a disaster. Everything just went, ugh. The defensive coordinator only rushing his way out of the building after undisclosed actions and vices. And he wasn't the only one that fucked off in the middle of the year. Not to consider that they started the year so poorly, blowing as many games as they did. For them to rebound the way they did is honestly impressive. It had a lot to do with the defense congealing together for once. We questioned them acquiring Montez Sweat, but it turned out to be what their pass rush needed. DJ Moore has become the catalyst of the offense. And the Bears managed to take advantage of their schedule to generate momentum. Even better, they successfully tanked without losing a single game. Carolina did it for them. The first overall pick is once again theirs. And it probably means one thing. Justin Fields. It's time. He shows flashes of talent but is undone by massive inconsistency. He doesn't elevate those around him. And he's never going to unlock any ability he has here, so trading him would be the right call. I don't know if Bears fans want to hear that, but that's the nature of the beast. Probably the same reason why they're keeping Matt Eberflus while cutting his staff. Then again, it is the Bears.